All right, we're going to talk about the article that dropped this morning that Tim McManus and Jeremy Fowler wrote on Jalen Hurts and his struggles with the Eagles. Now, I'll preface this. I didn't take this as a hit piece at first. I did, but the more I kept reading, I was like, okay, this is not a hit piece. I think this is exactly what it is. It's just an analysis and gives us more context into what happened last year. So I went through and highlighted some passages that I personally thought were important. Feel free to go read it for yourself to get the full context. So basically, we all remember 2025. I don't have to recap that. And this article does point out that Jalen Hurts was part of that blame. Does that mean I think Kevin Patullo should come back? Absolutely not. If anything, I think Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts took more accountability than Kevin Patullo, but that's just me. I do want to touch on the part of the article where it says Jalen Hurts did struggle with some of the changes that were implemented, and he kind of, again, just went audible and did what he wanted to do. And this mainly happened when he felt like he wasn't comfortable with what the coaches were calling, and even the coaches looked at him like, what are you doing? I will chalk this up to Jalen Hurts trying to just learn and get comfortable with a new coach. If you think about it, he is now on his fourth offensive coordinator. So, again, he hasn't had a whole lot of time to really get consistent offensive play calling. On top of that, it pretty much looked like everybody saw a dip in production under the offense last year. Even A.J. Brown saw a dip. I do think that's in part that defenses got used to the Eagles' offense, so they just adjusted. Unfortunately, the Eagles' offense just did not adjust with the defenses. Now, it does go on to say that Nick Sirianni has praised Jalen Hurts for his, at least, coachability, saying that whatever scheme he puts Jalen Hurts in, he's able to adapt to it. I think that's a good segue into my next point, is that in the article it says that Hurts is better when he has something to prove. We first saw that with him in 2018 when he was replaced by Tua Tagovailoa, then when he had to pick up the torch and start over Carson Wentz, then shortly after the great collapse of 2023. The next time he was in the Super Bowl, he won that Super Bowl over Kansas City. The article does also point out that even his inner circle was saying that he's having a hand in the collapse that was last year. I think overall, if you're someone who supports Jalen Hurts, you're going to find the silver lining in this piece. The silver lining is that Jalen Hurts has had to adopt to a lot. And not everybody's going to like the way he leads, and that's okay. Not everybody liked Jordan, not everybody liked Kobe Bryant. But of course, if you're one of the haters, you can point to this article and say, like, look, they said it was all Jalen Hurts' fault. It's like, no, slow down. He had a hand in it, but it wasn't all his fault. At the end of the day, you still can't argue that Jalen Hurts, as a starter, has led the team to the playoffs every single year. You also still can't argue that he still led them to 2 Super Bowls. And arguably, he had less weapons than he did the second time. So, at the end of the day, I'm still always staying with Jalen Hurts. And it will always still be, go Birds.